Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kat and this is Biblio Obscura. I like to read dark and weird books even better if they are translated and or queer. Today is going to be an amazing video because for some reason March has the most new releases that I'm excited for so far in the year. So because we have so many to get into, we're just going to get started, and it's from publication at the beginning of the month to the end of the month chronologically. And we're going to start it out with one that is coming out very soon, February 25th. I know it's not technically March, but I'm putting it in because this is by Nagabe, who wrote The Girl from the Other Side, which a lot of people read if you like stuff that is both like horror and cozy, like together, except this is a very adult release. This is Eat by Nagabe, coming out February 25th. This is about an anthropomorphic where there is like a wolf teacher who's very strict and very staid, and when one of his students, who I think is a sheep, happens to bite him, it awakens something inside of him. I'm very intrigued by this one. It's a complete left turn by Nagabe and I'm so here for it. Next we have Shy Girl by Ballard, out March 1st. I just got this on NetGalley and I will be reading it as my next book. This is about a girl who is like depressed, down on her luck, and has OCD, and she looks on this sugar baby site and sees an offer from someone who says, I will erase your debt if you agree to be my pet. Like, full-time pet in my house. And it says, like, as time goes on, she becomes more animalistic, and it's for fans of people like who liked Night Bitch, and I'm like, oh, I am so ready. Because I actually do really like sugar baby, sugar daddy, sugar mommy stories. And then the animalistic part just is perfect for me. The cover's amazing. So yeah, I'm really hoping to read this week. I have it and I'm very excited. Next is also out March 1st. This is Crafting Maira by Sam Arkot. This is about a man in India whose wife decided to divorce him, which is like the ultimate slight. And he is basically angry against women, and he wants to be able to craft his perfect woman because women are the worst to him. And instead of going to therapy like he should, when he finds a young girl who has lost her memory, he decides he is going to craft the perfect woman. So this to me sounds like what maybe Blob should have been, and a little bit of The Dumb House by John Burnside. So yeah, I'm very intrigued by this one. It has to be written in a very specific way because obviously the women hating is not my jam, obviously. Next out March 4th is The Unworthy by Agustina Bazterrica. This is one of the most popular ones on this list I'm going to tell you about, but I just couldn't not put it here. So she's the one who wrote Tender is the Flesh, and this is set in a dystopian post-apocalyptic world where the world is like flooded. So obviously I love that. And then our main character is surviving in a like nunnery where the sisters in the order basically rank you, and it says she wants to bring pleasure to the sister superiors in order to gain rank, and I'm like, okay, there's some sort of weird freaky shit happening. And then someone new comes in and challenges everything she thought about the way the nunnery is run. And because it's from this author, I'm like, ooh, it's about to be amazing. I have really high hopes for this one, and I think a lot of people are going to read this year, and I'm very keen to see what they think. Next is one that was on my most anticipated releases list of the year. This is The Divine Flesh by Drew Huff. So this is about a woman named Jennifer who has something called the divine flesh trapped inside her body. So it says they have three things in common. One, they're trapped inside Jennifer's body. Two, they despise each other. And three, they're both in love with Daryl, who is Jennifer's ex-husband. So when the divine flesh somehow manages to escape Jennifer's body, they realize that the divine flesh can show its ultimate love to anyone by consuming them and integrating it into itself. So Jennifer and her ex-husband have to team up in order to save the world and also stop it from eating everything. I don't know what it is about like runaway blob stories, but like I can think of a few. I can't mention them though because it's kind of like a spoiler, like it happens more toward the end of the story, but there's something about that where people turn into like these big blobs that consume things that is oddly specific, and I really love it. Next out March 4th as well is They Bloom at Night, which is YA, but this is so up my alley I had to talk about it. So this is following a teen girl who lives in Mercy, Louisiana, and this is where a hurricane has taken place, the wildlife is mutated due to a red algal bloom, and there is something feeding on the residents. And when our main character, whose name is Noon, she is tasked with finding the creature that is killing people, she decides to team up with another girl in her town who is an expert hunter and see if they can take down the monster. But obviously, like, probably the real monster are people in the town, and if I had to guess. But there probably is a real monster too, and I'm very, very intrigued about this. I love anything water, creature feature, lesbian, like, let's go. So yeah, very, very interested in that. And another one, I just realized there's a ton of water ones on this list, which is also why I think I'm so excited. Like anything that's water horror, water, literally water anything, I'm down. So this is Wild Dark Shore by Charlotte McConaghy. Oh my god, I can't I can't read. This is about a family who lives on a remote island, and they are monitoring one of the last seed banks in the world. And it's a father and his children, and suddenly a woman washes ashore, and as they start to integrate her into their family life, everything is not as it appears, because she came for certain reasons, and also she stumbles upon graves that have been recently dug by the father. So, sounds really good. And it's like a locked room. It's not locked room, it's like a locked location, which I absolutely love, and remote. And yeah, it kind of reminds me of the Salt Cure, or no, the Water Cure, which I read a while ago, which had the same kind of thing. Yeah, so isolated weird families set me up with that. Next up, March 6th, is Hunchback by Ichikawa, and this one I'm not so sure about. I do want to talk about it, but I'm not so sure because it has really mixed reviews. This is about a woman named Shaka who was born with a congenital muscle disorder, and she spends her days in a care room outside Tokyo, relying on an electric wheelchair and a ventilator to breathe. And juxtaposed against her like pretty frail body is her online life, which is vibrant and hypersexual, and she makes a bet with someone online to get his sperm. And when he takes her up on the offer, I think things go from there. I'm very, very interested in this. It just has super low ratings, which is throwing me off a little. So it says it was a bombshell bestseller in Japan, about a woman seeking autonomy, and the cover's amazing. It is Japanese translation. I'm just a little nervous because it has a 3.5 on Goodreads. So if you know anything about this or have heard anything from anyone who's read it, like, let me know, please let me know down below. Okay, now into March 11th. Rose/House by Arkady Martine is coming out. I love the cover so much. Like, you know when a cover just perfectly describes what you're getting into? This one is about a house that is embedded with AI into its beams, its marble, everything. When someone dies in the house, Rose's house locks up tight and refuses to give the corpse to the authorities. And so we have someone who's coming in to do an investigation and trying to figure out what is going on. And they're trying to communicate with Rose's house and also I think, get the corpse. So it reminds me, if anyone used to watch the Disney Channel and that Smart House, it was either a TV show or a movie, that scared the living daylights out of me. It's about like a smart house and it starts to go awry. And I think ever since then, any house especially that is imbued with like AI, I'm like, why did we do that? No, that's a bad move. That's a bad move. Disney said it was a bad move like 20 years ago, and it's still a bad move. Next is one that caught my attention because I recently did my 5 specific Rex video for human AI elements. This is Luminous by Sylvia Park, and this is in a reunified Korea of the future, where robots have been integrated into society as surrogates, servants, children, lovers. So we are following June, who is a war veteran turned detective of the robot crimes unit in Seoul, who becomes consumed by an investigation that reconnects him with his sister Morgan, who is now a prominent robot designer working for a top firm, who is embarrassingly dating one of her creations in secret. On the other side of Seoul, in a junkyard filled with abandoned robots, 11-year-old Ruji sifts through scraps looking for robotic parts that might support her failing body. When she discovers a robot boy named Yo-Yo among the piles of trash, an unlikely bond is formed since Yo-Yo is so lifelike, he's unlike anything she's seen before. Okay. This is giving so many like little threads of stories I have loved before. Finding Robot in the Trash, Chobits. Dating someone who's a robot is like Mad Scientist's Daughter. Like those are 2 of my favorite ever. A bit of Defy the Stars by Claudia Gray. This sounds so good to me. I have really high hopes, and I like really fingers crossed that this is really, really good. Next we have Blood on Her Tongue by Johanna van Veen, which is another one that I think has been talked about a lot, but I still really want to talk about it because it seems really good. So this is historical, set in 1887 in the Netherlands, and it follows twin sisters. And it says, Lucy's twin sister Sarah is unwell. She refuses to eat, mumbles nonsensically, and is increasingly obsessed with a centuries-old corpse recently discovered on her husband's grand estate. So the doctor says she's insane, but instead of putting her in an asylum, her sister tries to help her, right? Except that her behavior starts to go a little weird. She becomes angry and then very hungry. So is it a vampire? Is it a zombie? I don't know. Sounds really, really good. Blood on Her Tongue. Oh yeah, I guess it could be vampire or zombie. Yeah, so very interested in that one. Out March 25th is Joan of the Apocalypse, which is the other one I'm not so sure about on this list because the ratings are low at a 3.5. However, I think that I might really like it because it sounds really weird. So in this one we are following Joan, who is a struggling actress who is desperate for her first callback after years of rejection. When she finally gets the chance to star alongside like her dream person, she decides to dump her boyfriend and take control of her life. Instead of what she planned, she finds herself in an underground bunker with him during the apocalypse, listening to a glam metal band, which she hates. However, because a zombie apocalypse has broken out up top, she realizes that she is going to have to rely on her wits and her skills with an axe that she didn't know she had and escape to survive up top. And it sounds bizarre. It sounds like there's a lot of things in here, and it could either be like a hot mess and an almost instant DNF, or it could be really, really good. The penultimate one is Every Dark Cloud, which is another of the books that was on my most anticipated releases. This is post-climate disaster where the earth is protected by an artificial cloud. So in the darkness, they only use bioluminescence as their light source. As Mallory tries to survive, someone else stumbles across their path named Rain, who has radioactive light bleeding from their teeth, and their skin is twisted and burned. And Mallory's worldview implodes as they come face to face with like the realities of what is happening, and they have to survive together. I think it sounds great. It sounds great. I've talked about this one a few times now, and I cannot wait for it to come out. And then the very last one here is gross sounding. So it's A Feast of Putrid Delights by Valentina Rojas, and ooh baby, what a cover. So it says, ever since surviving the attack of a local queer nightclub, Antonia's life has unraveled. She can't sleep, she can't think, she certainly can't focus on her new restaurant and cooking. The only solace comes in the form of a new experimental street drug called Cloud, which allows your insomnia to be cured. And she has become consumed by a singular obsession, crafting the perfect dish, one purified from all rot of the universe. But perfection has a price, and Antonia is running out of time to pay it back. Oh, so from the early reviews I've seen of this, it says it gets like gross to the max. And that sounds great to me. That sounds really great to me. I watched The Menu and I loved that movie. I know it's pretty divisive, but I really liked it. Something where people who cook food, obviously to be consumed, when they go crazy, that means it's crazy on the other end for the people that are consuming it as well. Also, The Platform, I think it is a Spanish film as well, which is centered around food and eating, and the grosser the better is all I have to say about that. So those are all the books that I wanted to bring to your attention. Let me know if you're going to pick up any of them, and if I missed any, let me know down below for March releases. There are so many good books coming out in March, I don't know what to do with myself. I hope that March is like a fabulous reading month for me, because February has been pretty awful, not gonna lie. Haven't found that many great things this month, but I am really hopeful after looking at this that March is gonna be an absolute banger. So yeah, I will see you in another video soon. Lots of love. Bye for now.